We're going to have a wonderful time here together. You can just allow yourself to just settle in, to just feel into yourself right now. Check in with your thoughts and your feelings. Allow everything that's there. Connect with it. You can say hi inside of you. Exactly the way you feel this moment. Become present with it. And you can sink deeper as you become aware of how you're feeling. You can allow a deeper rest, a deeper alertness. The connection of the Holy Spirit is so strong that it can take us over. It can take us in fully. Sweep us up.
Truth brought to error could only remain within in quiet and take no part in all the mad projection by which this world was made. Invest it not with guilt, for guilt implies it was accomplished in reality. And above all, be not afraid of it. And you seem to see some twisted form of the original error rising to frighten you. Say only, God is not fear, but love, and it will disappear. The truth will save you. It has not left you to go out into the mad world and so depart from you. Inward is sanity, and sanity is outside you. You but believe it is the other way, that truth is outside, and error and guilt within. Your little senseless substitutions, touched with insanity, and swirling lightly off on a mad course like feathers, dancing insanely in the wind, have no substance. They fuse and merge and separate in shifting and totally meaningless patterns that need not be judged at all. To judge them individually is pointless. Their tiny differences in form are no real differences at all. None of them matters. That they have in common and nothing else. Let them all go, dancing in the wind, dipping and turning till they disappear from sight, far, far outside of you, and turn you to the stately calm within, where in holy stillness dwells the living God you never left, and who never left you. The Holy Spirit takes you gently by the hand and retraces with you your mad journey outside yourself, leading you gently back to the truth and safety within. He brings all your insane projections and the wild substitutions that you have placed outside you to the truth. In your relationship with your brother, where he has taken charge of everything at your request, he has set the course inward to the truth you share. In the mad world outside you, nothing can be shared, but only substituted. And sharing and substituting have nothing in common in reality. Within yourself, you love your brother with a perfect love. Within yourself, you love your brother with a perfect love. Here is holy ground, in which no substitution can enter, and where only the truth in your brother can abide. Here you are joined in God, as much together as you are with Him. The original error has not entered here, nor ever will. Here is the radiant truth to which the Holy Spirit has committed your relationship. Let Him bring it here, where you would have it be. Give Him but a little faith in your brother to help Him show you that no substitute you made for heaven can keep you from it. In you there is no separation, and no substitute can keep you from your brother. You are so firmly joined in truth that only God is there. He would never accept something else instead of you. He loves you both equally and as one. And as He loves you, so you are. As He loves you, so you are.
This is really, really wonderful. Truth has never left you, has not left you to go out in the mad world and so depart from you. Truth has never left you. And when you seem to see some twisted form of the original error rising to frighten you, say only, God is not fear, but love, and it will disappear. Truth has not left you to go out in the mad world outside. This mad world outside is where the twisted forms of the original error seem to appear. The belief in separation seem to produce twisted forms all over the place. But as we look on it, we only need to say God is not fear, but love. And it will disappear. Because obviously it's the fear of God that is behind it. But if we really accept that God is not fear, but love, then we depart. The error departs from us. And we stay in this inner calm where reality is. And he keeps saying things like, don't let guilt touch you. Don't let guilt take over. So this awakeness in the mind, this alertness to what is going on there is very important for peace of mind. Very important if we want happiness. We don't need to go out in the mad world outside where the dogs are barking like crazy. We don't need to let it touch us. So we want to find this presence within so that we can share it with others, so that we can help everyone release whatever blocks they have. And we do that by staying within. And again, that is not within the body, really. It's not within a separate mind. Course is a course about relationships, about forgiveness, about joining with your brother, with your sister, in your mind, forgiving them what you perceive there. That's how you become happy. Just to keep forgiving your perception, our own perception. So what a great reading. In your relationship with your brother, where he has taken charge of everything at your request, where God has taken charge of everything at your request, he has set the course inward to the truth you share. In the mad world outside, nothing can be shared, but only substituted. So inward is where true sharing, true joining can be experienced. Here is the radiant truth to which the Holy Spirit has committed your relationship. Let him bring it here where you would have it be. So when we give over the relationships we have to the Holy Spirit will bring them in to this place within where joining is natural, where you love. You can only love. He's saying, in you there is no separation, and no substitute can keep you from your brother. So even when the mind goes crazy and substitutes, like replaces truth with illusion, still, this substitute cannot keep you from your brother, but it can keep your awareness from who your brother is. It can keep the substitution, the illusion will keep you unaware of this love, of this real joining that is not outside, this inside the mind. God is with you, my brother. Let us join in him in peace and gratitude and accept his gift as our most holy and perfect reality, which we share in him. The Course in Miracles is constantly pointing us within, but there is often a fear to go within because of this fear of God. Then we need to train our minds. We need to teach our minds, allow Spirit to teach our minds that God is not fear, but love. We can face the fear and let it go. So let's see if there's anything you'd like to dive into here today, tonight. We can explore anything. Anything. For the purpose of peace of mind, clearing, and healing.
I was doing my lesson this morning, and it's forgiveness is the key to happiness. And he's asking to find in our mind someone like the enemy, quote unquote, and see the light, the little light, and so on. And as I started doing it, I stayed with it, and as the enemy, and it was, I felt it like it was seeing the depths of my self-hatred. Like it's like I felt like all my enemies were little, outside enemies were little, like almost, it's shallow. It has nothing to do with that enemy here. And it went so, I was kind of not in charge so much of the exercise, like as it unfolded, and I saw that I just saw the depth of my self-hatred and how I blame myself for all the wrong choices. And I made it like, it's like all that the enemies could have done. No, you did. You know, like it's, and so I wrote those thoughts in my journal. And I'm still in it a bit. And I can see that I'm praying because I don't know how to forgive. So I'm praying to be shown it's the key to
It feels good, you know. I know it doesn't feel good to be in touch with that. But it feels really good that you're going there. And you won't stay there, of course.
There was a weird word that came, that keeps coming in even now, is blub. Like a blub. Like I feel like I'm a blub of blub. I don't even know what blub means, but and I wrote it because I mean, I feel the guilt and ugliness of this blub. Like I'm a blub. Anyways, but also it seems from the inside, it seems to be endless. And yeah, I hear you and I believe you that it's not forever, or it's I just don't want it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it is not who you are. You are not that. But you need to see the belief in it to be able to release it. And that's what you're doing. Because most people spend their lives in avoidance, not even looking at the believed self-hatred. So this looking is, it's a step towards the true identity. And the answer is your mind. You are a mind. You're not a person. And Patricia has looked up to her blob. It's a small drop or a lump of something viscid or thick, or a spot or something shapeless.
Like Jenny said, none of those describe you in truth, but in the healing process, that's what you're feeling. You're feeling this feeling so that it can show up and unwind in your mind.
And it just gets serious only when you identify with it. So when you really face it, you actually disidentify from believing that is you. And yeah, it can feel awkward or awful or really bad while you face the self-hatred. But it doesn't need to last.
When Eckhart Tolle had his big awakening, his mind was filled with all of this sort of ego stuff, all this negative stuff. But then all of a sudden he realized he was not that. He was watching that. And just by realizing that he was watching it, he knew he wasn't it.
Said something like, could I be two of me? It didn't make sense. Yeah, until we realize we can use the person or the body as a vehicle, spirit can use it as a vehicle, as a tool for your awakening, and this is the only way to use it and feel peaceful. But until we realize that, there is shame. There is shame of being you. There is shame of being a person. So this shame is what needs to be faced and released, so that there can be this identification with it, to realize it is not you. Not dissociation, but disidentification. Because dissociation is also something the ego uses all the time. That's more like first believing it's you, but then avoiding, playing a role or something to avoid looking at the self-hatred. Becoming busy. So thank you, Julie.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hello, Jenny and Barret and all my mighty companion. Jenny, I was very much, I've known of you, of course, via David and Francis and all the video that you have shared. And I was always drawn to you, and I know for it's Holy Spirit guiding me to you. And one time I remember, I think it was like 7 or 8 years ago, you were, and I don't know if it was in California, but somewhere there were this woman, a mighty companion, that went through, like, oh my gosh, like the only thing I can call it's hell on earth. Like, she just had this huge crisis. And you, David, and Francis were at that table. And it was like, so you guys, especially you, well, again, it's just like in the video, you were so loving. And in that video, we're witnessing this woman like going from literally like being in hell, and through you guys, the three of you, listening to her and just like welcoming her. It was so miraculous. Like, it was just like, it's like, you could see like the love flowing after. It was so precious. And this was one of the most loving gesture I witnessed. Well, of course, in a video. And I'm going to be short. Like, I've been waiting to go physically in the Living Miracle community, either in Utah, Mexico, or even with you in Spain. And thank you so much. And thank you for listening. And thank you, my mighty companion, for listening to me, because I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's good to have you with us.
Yeah. Very good. It would be good to see you sometime too. Beautiful. Okay, do we have anybody else here ready to share?
Yeah, I could share. Yeah, I'm coming today feeling kind of heavy. Yeah, I just feel heavy. I feel weighted down. I feel sad. I feel like my shoulders want to like cave in. I don't know. I just feel like heavy and sad, and I'm not quite sure what to do with it, or like how to move through it, to be honest.
Yeah, and here you can allow it, Danielle. You can allow the sadness.
Yeah, it's like I want it to come up, but I also don't want to deal with it anymore.
Yeah, and it's the same as we spoke to Julie, to be the observer. You can be really, really allowing and gentle. You are not really your sadness, but You need to allow it.
Yeah, I think it's just hard because I've been feeling it for 2 days now, and I keep letting it up and expressing it, but it just feels like it's not going away, and I want it. I'm kind of like over it. Like I want it to go away or something. And
What does the sadness want? Maybe it wants you to just allow it, accept it, embrace, just because you can do that when you're the observer.
yeah,
Because I think there is a part of the mind that says you're not okay. It's not okay to feel this way. It's not okay. You should feel better. You should be different. But
yeah.
that's
Well, it's like yesterday, my lesson. I'm a little behind on the lessons, and yesterday it was God's will for me is perfect happiness. And then my lesson today is I share God's will for happiness for me. And there's some way I read it and I'm just like, I believe that's true on a higher level, but I feel kind of distant from it, that I'm saying my lesson and I'm just like, okay, God's will for me is happiness. Cool. I don't feel it, or like I share God's will. It almost feels like pressure. Like, okay, if I'm connected to God, I'm supposed to be joyful, but what do I do if like I'm heavy? Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of heady, but that's just, yeah.
Yeah. And I think you do share God's will for happiness for you. And there's something you believe about you that God does not believe about you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I'm uncovering some beliefs about like a loneliness, which is kind of new for me. Yeah, like a feeling of loneliness or loss.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it feels pretty deep.
Yeah.
And I keep hearing myself say that I'm like, well, I feel lonely, so I think I want more mighty companions, or more like I'm craving, or I'm just like desiring other friendships who are like with other Course in Miracles students, or a partner, or like there's some.
Yeah. But God knows what is best for you. And if that was best for you, you would have that right now. You don't need that. You actually don't need friendship, mighty companions in form right now. You actually need exactly what you have right now. You have this space to enter into a deeper relationship with God.
Yeah, I feel like I'm looping in the thought of like, I need more mighty companions. I need more. Like, it feels hard for me to let that
the conclusion that something is wrong the way it looks right now. But it can't be. It can't be.
one.
It cannot be wrong the way it looks right now. But it's not a punishment. It's not, there's something deeper waiting around the corner.
Yeah, it's true, because I have this thought like, oh, maybe I need more Course in Miracles friends, mighty companions, and but there's a certain level of like grasping when I think that, like I have to like make it happen, and like it doesn't feel like it's given. I mean, there's groups like this feels given, like I show up, but other than that, I don't have a lot of Course connections. And yeah, it doesn't, I'm like, I don't want to be like grabbing for them, but it also doesn't feel good to feel lonely either.
Well, the truth is you are not alone, you know. Jesus talks about it. You think you're alone unless you have other bodies around you. So he's really stating it. And the laws of friendship, you know, and Spirit really wants you to transcend these limiting beliefs about yourself.
Yeah, I want that too. I want that too. Yeah, because I can feel like since me and my boyfriend broke up, I just feel this like I don't have anyone to share my day with, to share my thoughts with, to share like laughter with. I mean, again, I still have friends, but no one as deep as I went with him. Like I don't have anyone that I go that deep with. And so I just feel this like this hole in my life now. And like a yearning for that again.
Yeah. So maybe it's time to try to go as deep or deeper with the Holy Spirit, God, or Jesus, whatever you feel comfortable calling it, you know.
Yeah, I feel emotion when you say that because I feel I like feel how bad I want that.
Yeah.
I feel the yearning, and I also feel I don't know. I feel the depth of my yearning, and I also have the thought of like, I don't know, it's too hard. Like there was a day where I was having a hard time. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, there was a day where I was having a hard time, and I was praying to the Spirit, like, can you just help me? Just offer me some guidance, some input, anything, just like I would do with a friend. I'm like, can you just like give me a question? And I just didn't hear anything. And I get what the Course teaches, like, you know, God's voice is as loud as your willingness to hear. It's like I get all that, but I just felt so discouraged because I'm like, okay, this was a moment where I was like, okay, I'm ready. What's the question, or what can you offer me? And just like nothing came, or I didn't hear anything, and I just felt that loneliness of like, okay, where are you at, God? Or something like, yeah, like I couldn't. I've had that happen a few times where I felt a moment of trust, of asking, in a moment of need, and it didn't come. And there's plenty of times where it has come. So I'm not saying that happens all the time, but
Yeah.
like, I guess I want that. I want the Holy Spirit speaking to me all through the day. I want to be told what to do. And like, I want that. And I don't always feel it. Sometimes it just feels blank. And that's really hard for me. It feels hard.
Yeah. Yeah. But you are going deeper, and this is part of it. We had a talk in the recent retreat with Peter, and I think it could be helpful for you to listen to it. We have posted it. It's one of the audio files on YouTube.
Okay.
From the retreat in England, about how it doesn't really work to try to get the connection outside of yourself, you know, with other people. It's similar to what you're going through.
That it doesn't work to get the connection outside.
If there's a neediness kind of energy, it's just going to feed itself, and you're never going to feel at peace. And usually the connection that the neediness is trying to grab onto is not really going to be reciprocated. It's not going to be felt.
It brings up this interesting question for me, though, because I've always been like, I don't have many friends. I had Jonathan, who I was really close to, and I didn't really feel a need for many relationships. Like people always wanted more from me than I wanted from them. And people have reflected that, like they want to hang out. I'm like, nope, I'm good. And so it brings up this question where I'm like, maybe it's good for me to feel like I want friendships again, because I've been, like, people have described me as aloof at times. Like kind
But
of,
it's more like you have seen the flip side. You're seeing the flip side. It's the same belief. I'm wanted, or I want. I'm wanted as a friend, or I want friends. It's the same belief. You're just going to the other side of the pendulum, the side of the coin, but it's the same belief. So if you experienced in the past people wanting to be with you,
yeah,
not interested, and now you're the one wanting, but it is the very same belief.
because to me, I thought it was a good thing. Like, oh, good, it's important for me to feel like I want friends because I've been so long aloof. But you're saying no.
No, I feel it's more about your awakening. You're done with you're not so interested in, the people who wanted to be with you, because you actually do want awakening. But now you seem to have lost a boyfriend, and so now that neediness that you saw in them has come up in you, because
That's true.
the belief in your consciousness. That's where the belief is. And so often we experience the other side of it. So
it's true. Yeah. So now I'm experiencing the other end. So for so long, I've been kind of like, I don't want, and now I'm kind of grasping a bit. I'm kind of swinging to the other end, but what do I do? It's like, what's the answer then?
yeah, it's beyond all idols. That's what we spoke about in the retreat, that he's, grasping for anything. He's wanting an idol. And it will never give you what you want. Even if you seem to get it sometimes, it's not what you really want. It's not going to answer it's your deep desire for God. And he says that any of those idols, they will never answer when you call for God, because that's what you're doing. You're calling for God, but you don't really know it. You think you're calling for friends or companions. But so there is a lesson. There's a gift here in this place you're in.
Well, that's good feedback, because I keep thinking that this is about me finding friends. And it's not.
No.
This isn't about me finding new friends.
You can't have friends.
I can't.
No.
Why not?
It's not part of this. Sure, there is mighty companionship, but that comes when it's given. It's not grasped for.
Yeah, it's true. Right now, I have you guys for these calls, and I have my other friend who I do calls with, and that's it that I have with Course in Miracles friends. And maybe I just stop trying.
Yeah, I held a retreat at one point, and there was a woman. She said, "Oh, I envy you. You're driving around in a car, and you always have a companion. You're, together. You're extending. You're holding retreats." And I said to her, "No, you have no idea what I've gone through. When I have released friendship, I don't have a need of another person sitting next to me. That is not what this is about. It may look that way, but it's not what that is about."
Because I have that same thing as the woman, where I'm envious of living miracles. Like, wow, you have so many people. If you need support, there's always someone there. Or if someone needs support, you're there. But you're saying no.
No, it's about facing the belief in loneliness. That's what everyone has to do. In one way or another.
So you're saying if you were guided out of the community, you'd be fine because you know they're not. Yeah, so I have some dependency on mighty companions, and I don't quite know, how not to. So it wouldn't feel lonely for you if you were guided out? No.
No, in fact, I was. So,
Mm.
and it is idols. It is a release of idols.
Mm.
They're not really mighty companions when they are grasped for, in a sense.
They're idols that we're putting before God.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing with Jonathan.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah. So the call is to release them and be guided. Release and be guided.
I mean, that really is what I want. I'm like, I would love to hear Holy Spirit guiding me through the day. To have Jesus or Spirit as my friend. Just like, say this, do this, go here. I'm like, I want that. And I've had moments of it. I have had moments, turn left here, say this to this person. And when it happens, I just feel like there's nowhere else I'd rather be. Like when I'm given, like I've had it happen, like go up to this woman and say this. I'm like, okay. And when I do it, I just feel like there's nothing better.
Yeah.
And so I feel how deep my yearning is for that. I'm just not feeling it all the time. It feels, it's the loneliness. The loneliness is, I'm like, okay, God, I'm like, I'm not hearing you. Where are you at?
So even the loneliness is actually an idol.
The loneliness is an idol.
Yeah.
Can you say more?
Well, what you just said, I can actually not hear God because of the loneliness. So the loneliness is put up against God. It's put up as a belief to protect you from being with the Holy Spirit. And sure, you can't skip over the steps, you need to move through it, allow it to come up. But yeah, you can question it. You can start to release it.
Yeah,
You are meant to be a miracle worker.
Yeah, I want that.
Yeah. And we so often want to judge how it looks, You want to decide that it must look like having other people around you. Spirit saying no. It's not about other bodies.
It's not about other bodies. Unless they're given.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if they're given, great, receive it. But otherwise, like right now, I don't have many mighty companions given. So
first it's to release the neediness and the wanting and the beliefs, I think.
Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel more, I can feel lighter.
Yeah, that feels good. So just keep trusting and allowing those emotions, release them, because there can be a lot of conclusions or ideas in the mind about how it should be something is wrong because I don't have this.
Yes.
And that's the biggest problem, these conclusions.
Yeah, that's why this conversation is helpful, because I've been in that belief, like something's gone wrong. Where's my mighty companions?
Yeah.
Like something's wrong.
Yeah.
And there's a certain relaxing of like, maybe this is exactly what I need.
Yeah.
Which feels scary.
Yeah. But I give you a big hug. This is good. It's very good.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Spirit has you.
Mm.
The greatest love of all.
Mm. Yeah, I want to know that to be true. Yeah, thank you.
Both you and Julie can play that song after the session with Whitney Houston, The Greatest Love of All.
Yeah, I love Whitney Houston. Okay. Happy to play that song.
Everyone can play it because learning to love yourself, it's the greatest love of all. Deep self-love.
I decided long ago never to hide in anyone's shadow.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Precious. Yeah. Thank you. I feel these shares are, it's for all of us. It's for everyone. I know everyone needs this. It has been shared here tonight. So we can see it all as for us. A big, big love and big hugs to everyone here.
A lot of self-love here.
Yeah.
One mind loving itself.
Yeah. Capital S, self-love. It's the only love there is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful. And we'll see you all again sometime soon. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.